Detroit, AP. After canceling 15,000 flights around Christmas and leaving holiday passengers stranded, Southwest Airlines is now focusing on restoring its tarnished reputation as its flights are operating on a schedule that is approximately normal. The problems began with a winter storm and grew worse when Southwest's outdated crew scheduling system malfunctioned. Southwest informed customers on Tuesday that they would receive 25,000 frequent flyer points in addition to refunds and reimbursement for unforeseen expenses like hotels and meals if their flights were canceled or considerably delayed over the holidays. Customers can submit receipts for reimbursement on a page the airline has set up, although management admit it will take weeks to review all the requests. For the airline to convince me that they can fix whatever technology they use to send flight crews and aircraft where they need to go, a lot would need to go wrong. Simply put, the trouble I went through wasn't worth it, Zanin stated. She intends to resume using American Airlines, even if it means paying more. Southwest would lose around $585 million in revenue as a result of the storm, in addition to the cost of additional expenses, according to Raymond James airline analyst Savantha Syth. Southwest was expected to pay $500 million to $600 million in a combination of cash, gift cards, and frequent flyer miles, according to airline consultant Robert Mann. Given that it appears from many accounts that Southwest is being very generous in reimbursing not only flight but other out-of-pocket costs, and is serious about fixing the technological flaws that made the crisis worse, Mann said, Bookaway typically has a short half-life, perhaps as little as a month. Airlines have always bounced back swiftly from past meltdowns, whether they were brought on by inclement weather, staff shortages, IT problems, or other issues. Southwest was no exception as recently as October 2021. If there was any drop in the number of passengers, it happened rapidly. About 80% of the domestic air travel market is controlled by Southwest, American, United, and Delta. Southwest, which began 50 years ago as a low-cost rival to major airlines but has since evolved into one of them, has a disproportionately large presence in some populous states like California, Arizona, and Texas. Even when it became apparent that it was having trouble as other airlines recovered from the winter storm and after it received repeated criticism from customers, the media, and Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg, Southwest stayed relatively quiet for a few days. According to Larry Yu, a professor at the George Washington University who specializes in crisis management in the travel and tourism sector, the company was slow to come forward in terms of corporate PR communications until the government went after them. The Transportation Secretary called the CEO directly and demanded they move fast to take care of those people. It does a lot of damage quickly. But you also pointed out that Southwest has a history of having a reputation for having reasonable prices and good service. He commended the airline for making refunds, payments, and frequent flyer miles promises. You remarked, they have to take some action to get those clients back. Southwest must now fulfill its promises to upgrade its technology, he continued, because you don't want to link low cost with low tech. Senator Richard Blumenthal, a Democrat from Connecticut, announced on Wednesday that he will reintroduce the Passenger Bill of Rights, which the previous Congress rejected. In an interview, he stated that the Southwest fiasco creates a period where the forces in support of this kind of consumer protection law could win. This Monday, the Senate Commerce Committee announced that hearings into the Southwest breakdown will take place. Southwest and other airline executives should testify, according to Blumenthal. Blumenthal asserted that the issue with flight cancellations is not unique to Southwest, that it has happened before, and that it was not unexpected. Since Southwest's crew scheduling technology had previously failed during interruptions in the summer and fall of 2021, he said it was puzzling that the company had not updated it. Enforcement of consumer protection regulations intended to safeguard airline passengers falls within the purview of the Transportation Department. A number of consumer groups have been pleading with Congress to allow state officials and private parties to sue airlines in order to enforce such rules, but so far their efforts have been fruitless. A serious shift is required, according to John Brault, Vice President of Public Policy at the National Consumers League. The airlines will fight tooth and nail to have as little regulation as possible, he said.